video is class 3A for the level 1 curriculum. We're going to talk about the 8-point blocking set. The 8-point blocking set is a classical blocking system, which means it works great in the dojo. It's awesome for technique building, proper mechanics. It's not always what you're going to use in a practical self-defense situation. Many of them are, some of them are not. Let's start. So, when I'm working with my blocks, I always start in my horse stance to create a neutral position so I can practice the same blocks on each side of the body. There's really 4 types of blocks. There's outward, there's inward, there's upward, and there's downward. But they're done on both sides of the body, so we call it the 8-point blocking set, okay? So, for the outward blocks, I'm just gonna start with my hand down. I'm gonna move in half a circle and finish the hand pointing up at the sky. My elbow will be just slightly to the outside of my shoulder. If I have my elbow in too far, then when the strike comes around from the outside, it still has an opportunity to hit my face. So I'm just gonna drop the hand straight down, move in a half circle, finish with the elbow just to the outside of the shoulder. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So the left hand is the number 2 block. So all the odd numbers are on the right arm, 1, and all the evens are on the left arm, 2. Moving on to the inward blocks. I'm gonna start with my arm up to the side. I'm gonna move it across the body. And as my arm gets to the center line of my body, I'm going to turn the arm and then continue to finish in line with the left side of the body. Now, because our arm on the right side wasn't designed to do a lot of work on the left side of the body, we're also gonna turn the body a little bit to help it be a little easier to get that arm across the center line, okay? Same thing with number 4. I'm gonna pop the arm up, bring it across, body slightly turns. When I get to the center line of where my body was, slight turn of the block, and continue following through. So whatever strike might be coming straight towards me, I make sure that I clean out the center of the body here from that strike and get that strike to now point off somewhere else, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 are upward blocks. I'm gonna take the arm, I can bring it over across the body just to give it a starting point and roll it straight up in front. So it's just above the forehead, almost as if I was shielding the sun out of my eyes, okay? The forearm is what's going to make contact with the person who's striking. Now, because again, this is an awkward position for the shoulder, I can't necessarily get my arm all the way over when I'm doing the upward block. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly turn the body just like I did for the inward blocks. Turn the body, roll the arm up, and get the forearm to cover and protect the head. Same thing for number 6. Turn the body, bring the arm over, roll it straight up, and as I roll it up, I turn my palm out towards the sun, trying to shield the sun from my eyes. Number 7 and 8 are downward blocks. I'm gonna start with a setup, bringing my arm next to my ear. Then I'm gonna drop the arm downward in front of me. I'm gonna finish with the hand just to the outside of my hip. Then for number 8, I do the same thing on the left side. Bring the arm up, drop it down, finish the hand just to the outside of the hip, okay? Now again, with all of these blocks, I'm gonna use the different areas of the forearm to make contact with the strike. I don't want to use the wrist. The wrist is a lot more fragile than the forearm. There's no muscle on the wrist like there is compared to the forearm. And it's also the end of the lever where it's easier for someone to move my block if they have a fair amount of power behind their strike, which they're probably going to if they're trying to hit us. So let's review all 8. So all the odd numbers are on the right hand, all the even numbers are on the left hand. So here's my right and my left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now here's your right and left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, when you feel comfortable with those 8 blocks from that classical horse stance, you can even start doing them from an on guard position and working them just like this, returning back to the center line. This is still not exactly how you would use them in real life confrontation, but it starts to get us a little closer to that point, okay? So now, what you can do as a great follow-up exercise to the blocks is you can practice counter strikes from the blocks. So as soon as your block is made, you can practice immediately throwing a strike off the same hand of the block that was just completed. So 1, great option, front punch. 2, great option, front punch. 3, nice little cross hand hammer strike. 4, same thing. 5, come up. We can drop it down into a side hammer. 6, same thing. 7, after we block down, we can come back up with the back fist. Or after we do the downward block, we can rise up with a nice little classical chicken wrist position using the hard part of the wrist to hit under the jaw. Great. So practice those. Great for hand coordination and development. Awesome for little fighting skills, being able to stay a step ahead of somebody else, especially with those counter strikes, and just overall being able to protect yourself the right way while reducing the possibility of injury. Good luck.